Hey everybody. So today just wanted to share open source tool everyone's welcome to use if they want to. Don't have to, but basically what this is a way to handle NI DAQ devices that support self-calibration. It's easy, right? If you can just open up NI Max, you can connect to your card. So the one I use the most that is capable of self-calibration would be the NI 9205, which is like an analog input card. So I can just open NI Max up. I can go click on that device, and then I can just click self-calibrate, and it does it all for me. So the one issue I ran into with that is just there's no sort of report to show that this is done. I mean, you can screenshot NI Max that shows, hey, this was successful at this date, this time, etc. So just trying to create a little bit nicer way of kind of doing that is this NI Self Calibrator. So this is a piece of software that will run the self-calibration on your device and also generate a report for you. So this is what the UI looks like. It's pretty simple. So basically, when you open this up, this is what it'll look like. You get this message below that just says, hey, connect your device to a chassis. So it can be whatever chassis. And then when ready, press run calibration. And when you're all done with that, you can click just generate report, and it will generate the report. And there's also this email report option. So if you have like a quality or calibration team who actually needs these documents to show that the self-calibration was done, you can use SMTP to just send that on to whoever is supposed to have it. And yeah, on the right side here, we have all this information. So the manufacturer, the product name, serial number, temperature, the date, the next cal date, the time, and whether it passed or failed. And again, this doesn't replace like external calibration. It's really just for managing the self-calibration. I think typically on the self-calibratable devices, don't quote me on this 100%, but I think they extend the external calibration frequency due to the self-calibration. So let's look a little bit at this. So when I run the calibration, I'm just going to display on the screen that we are performing the self-cal, and then we're going to use this run self-calibration VI. So what this is going to do is it's going to use the system config API. It's going to connect to a local session, and I'm also going to create a filter. So I want to see, is there a device? Is it calibration supported, and is it present? So is it actually plugged in right now? So that way you don't see devices that you had plugged in but they aren't anymore. That's one of my frustrations. I don't really love how without filtering it returns devices that at one time were plugged into a system but no longer are. If you have tons of devices in a facility, it kind of becomes a little bit of a pain to manage. Then I'm using this find hardware function, which is just going to output an array of hardware that matches this filter. And then we're going to close this system session. And down here, we are using a property node on the hardware. So we're pulling out just the first element, so it's meant to be do one, we're pulling out the product name, the serial number, the vendor name, and the current temperature. And then we're going to go and run this self-calibrate function. And we're going to close this out. So here we're building this cluster of all of the calibration details. So basically, the time at which this was calibrated, we're calculating the next calibration and pulling the current calibration date. And then from this, we're automatically pulling in like the product name, the serial number, the vendor name, all that stuff, and the temperature of the device, and whether it passed or failed. And we're just displaying that on the UI there. When you click generate report, we're just going to get a little prompting for a gauge ID. So what is the, and that's just if the gauge ID field is empty. So right here. So basically a unique identifier to the specific device that you're working with. Some companies will just do the serial number of the device. Some will have custom naming formats, etc. But yeah, just making sure that there is a value in there for that. And then we're going to generate this report. So I basically created a Word template, and then we're just filling in all the data there. So I've got that included. I'm going to open a session. I always just drop the get ActiveX references because I've had issues with builds where when you don't include this, sometimes certain dependencies with the report generation toolkit aren't included. I believe that's probably been fixed in recent versions of LabVIEW, but just out of habit, not wanting that to happen again, I always drop these down. And then yeah, I'm telling the report to be a portrait mode. And then I'm just inputting into all of these bookmarks. So I have like gauge ID, manufacturer, product, serial, temperature, all of this stuff. Here I'm actually using LDAP to pull the current user's employee identification number. So we can automatically write that. They don't need to go sign in and say, this is who I am, right? It'll just pull that automatically based off of Windows login. And then we're going to save that to a PDF. So I'm saying, asking them where they want that saved. And then we are disposing of that report. And this right here is just opening up the report when it's all done. So after the report's been saved, this just automatically opens it up so you can see it. But yeah, that is pretty much it. And yeah, like I said, there is this email. So you can basically pull, who you want to email, your SMTP connection settings, and then include your report as an attachment, and it emails it off. So you don't have to go, manually email it after. Just from this one interface, you can send it out to whoever needs to get that information. Yeah, and then just to look at, here's the actual report. It's nothing fancy, but yeah, basically I have this NI Self Calibration report, and it's going to go, anytime you see these little brackets, those are where the bookmarks are. It's going to replace the text in these fields with whatever information it collected. So serial numbers, products, etc., all of that details. So it'll basically fill all of those out and then convert it to a PDF, and then you have your report. So that would be a NI Self Calibration GUI, just trying to make that a little more streamlined. But yeah, like I said, if you're interested in this, if you just go to the link in the description, you can download this, you can play with it yourself, you can use it, you can modify it however you want, do whatever you want with it. But yeah, that would be my NI Self Calibrator. Thanks for watching.
Canon Controls is your gateway to mastering LabVIEW. Dive into programming for data acquisition, industrial communications, and manufacturing automation. Explore how to enhance your projects with cybersecurity best practices. Join the journey to elevate your skills and secure your systems with every episode.